So I think that now I'm good for this. All right. Maybe use my new phone sometimes. Do this. Okay. Now, everybody, welcome. This evening I have my robe on, so I hope you don't mind. So I'm seeing people up there getting seated. I have this live stream set up, so hopefully people are finding that. Otherwise, you have the recording. And I think I'm all set up to go. All right. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for, making your way here. This is the very first meeting of what I am going to be. And what that is it's going to be a Clubiss. And what is this? Well, it's a mix between a club and a class. It's sort of made a combination. So the club element is you're choosing to be here, and it's meant to be sort of a fun, light, engaging, interactive, enjoyable, interesting, and educational, kind of experience. But there's the class element. There are readings. There may be assignments. There may be there's not going to be quizzes, but videos to watch, maybe articles to read, and sort of it's not going to be basically just the book and the content of it, but you're also going to be exploring other sources online and in book form with whatever we're doing, because we are talking about Aquarius season, and Aquarius is about information elsewhere. So I started doing this, just for the history of this before I, by the way, my name is Everett Curdy. My mentor name is Lopez Noel. This is my mentor. If you look around, there is the lunch area. There's a library. There are living quarters here. This kind of academy, which is the school for this mentor, having all sorts of subjects, ranging from math, literature, history, and astrology, even, which we are, doing, and there's plenty of new teachers coming in, those who have YouTube channels and they're really famous, dealing, with presenting themselves in social media. And so these teachers are, famous YouTubers and teachers in terms of their online courses. They write books, they write blogs, and they all have their unique style and individual, special, interesting style of astrology and their views and how they approach it, and what their area of astrology is, because it's sort of a tree with different branches. There's the Hellenistic astrology, there's the Vedic, there is the Placidus house system, there is personal astrology, natal astrology, dealing with you and your placements in your natal birth chart and what they mean for you as an individual, and sort of your roadmap of where you're heading in this life, and where you need to go and how your soul's going to evolve. And there's also mundane astrology, which deals with politics, elections, world events. Pam Gregory can tell you all about that, because she does, that is her area of expertise. So every single month, she sort of, she does these newsletters where she takes a look at the world events and goes into the astrology, the new moons, full moons, eclipses, planetary transits, aspects, what they're going on, what's going on, and how sort of synthesizing and tying that information into those tying that astrological information into the world, the events going on in the world. Um, Another great mundane astrologer is Steve Judd. If you've ever followed his work, Steve Judd is an astrologer that deals with politics, and figures in power, and is self-taught, and I really admire his style of getting right to the point, not cutting around anything, like plain and simple. If Ernest Hemingway, the author, was an astrologer, then he would be Steve Judd. Recall that Ernest Hemingway writes books about nature, basic scenes, not a whole lot of plot and action going on, but his words are pure gold, and they really speak for themselves without the flowering language around them. It's really cut and dry, to the point. This is what is happening. And even though his writings are simple and easy to understand on the surface, if you delve deep, there is a lot more really amazing and profound meanings that he has for us, particularly on the old man. See, this is a lot about like so many areas. But that is, going on with the teachers here. Nadia Shaw is another great one. She is of the belief that true love and wisdom are the answers. Deborah Silverman deals with the four elements, and I like to say esoteric astrology, another sort of soul-centered branch of astrology. She'll, also be teaching. I know, Christopher Crenstrom's another one, um, and another great one, and you know, he goes, really in depth, and reveals so much, new and you know, intriguing information, and delves into deeper layers, and definitely, um, you're going to learn new things when you watch him that you never knew before, or ways of looking at something that you never thought about before. And he, I'd like to say, that he is the first astrologer that I have not had. Um, and in the first astrologer I've ever followed is Deborah Silverman. So, all props to her and what she does. And I'm not putting one above the other. They're all great in their own individual ways. And several people will be teaching, including Adam Olympus. He also does astrology, nightlight astrology, dealing with the, soul growth and evolution as well, and so many other people. So, um, in other classes, don't forget music, literature, all those things. We have that going on here. We also have the library. What else do we have? So, well, that's it. Just for my mention, and things happen, and I do not want to stand here and go into the long-winded explanation of my menton and all the dynamics of my menton, and how it all works together, and because I just don't feel like I want to stand here and you know go into a long-handed presentation about it. Basically, guest comes, we give them a tour, we honor them, we look at their characteristics and traits, particularly resemblances. What kind of people do resemble them? What kind of people do they resemble? And look at celebrating them, paying homage to them, delving deep into them, and other areas, shows, movies, all kinds of occasions that we put on here at the event, and concerts even, and also, uh, yeah, so we do quite a bit here, and so many things wrapped up into it, particularly customs, that involves quite a bit of information. Custom can include a dish or a smell or the weather or a physical place or a person or something that someone said. So many different types of things. And we also look at the I mentioned yes natal chart, so their astrological chart for why we also honor them in that way. Um, and so it is Aquarius season. The time of astrology, we're definitely going to be having Pluto moving into Aquarius this year. March 15th. Mark my words when I say that, please. It is going to be on the 15th of March that Pluto will move into the Aquarius, and June 19th it will leave Aquarius and retrograde back into Capricorn, and it will dig up any top down, any kind of governmental structure, authority, tradition, rulership, that takes away your control and disempowers you. So that should be really, really exciting when it does happen. And remember that Pluto is the god of transformation and death and rebirth. So he is in the sign for, and putting gender to him, he is in the sign for 16 to 20 years. Pluto will be in Aquarius for 20 years, and seeing as Aquarius is a fixed signs hold on to things and hold seasons, down, basically. And so we'll be there for a long time, and it's sort of a slow burn, a slow transformation of society, of ourselves, of the world. When Pluto goes into a certain sign, and it does destruct all aspects of that sign as well. All right. Now, it's certainly, grown from the last, 3 years, because it's been 3 years since I've started the Clubiss, because it started with Aries Clubiss. And that's the first Clubiss I did. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. I am an Aries, and so it was really special for me. And so I started that, and now I'm refining it and changing it and modernizing it and improving it this time around. And I'm going to go through the signs as the sun moves into a certain sign for a month, for whatever period that sun's in that sign. And there's going to be a Clubiss for that sign. And I do want to introduce you now to the book that that we'll be using. There are multiple copies of this. This is the version, the little book of Aquarius, so these little sun sign books, not the good ones, but the sun sign books, all written by different authors, not the same author, but they go through all of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And we're going to be using these books for those Clubisses. So when the sun's in a certain sign, that the books that I personally have, so Aquarius, Aries, Gemini, Cancer, and Libra. And I'm doing Clubisses for those books. Unless I can find a way, means of getting the other books, either through the physical copy or on a Kindle or something like that. So I definitely will plan upon doing that. So during every astrological season, I'll do in a Clubiss meeting, using this book, reading from it, teaching from it, and not just this book, but the other signs, not just Aquarius, but Aries, Taurus, Cancer, all those signs. So I'll try to do it for every season, but I can't guarantee. And I'll certainly announce when I'm doing a Clubiss. So now that I've gotten through all the information, I do want to just advise you that I am going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I just want to show you this. This is something that I'm working on right now. I have not learned piano formally yet. And this is the foot in the door that I need to take. And I'm addressing this now at 18 years old. So I need to practice, and so there'll be a point when I will try to do that. So just fair warning on that. It's a bit of information there, hopefully. Can't guarantee that. But anyway, so, I have this book of Aquarius here. And so, what'll happen is in the past when I did this, I stood up and I boringly had my music stand, which I'm using this live stream off of, and I read from the book and then discussed it. Well, guess what? I'm not going to do that in future because that's boring for me to stand up here and lecture and read and try to make sense of the information when I have not processed the information, digested the information, and try to find a way of okay, well, I'm reading this. This is how I'm going to teach it. This is what I'm going to discuss, and this is what I'm going to talk about, and how I'm going to talk about it when the meeting comes, when it arrives. So. And a huge other reason for why I'm not going to do that is because I am standing on really thin ice when it comes to the abundance. And I know that if I read from chapters I have never read in this book for the first time out loud in front of all of you, I will be feeling guilt and lack of abundance. So I do not want to feel that feeling. So what will happen is there will be activities, little things that we're going to do, maybe a project here and there. It is mainly going to be me actually discussing, kind of like a college class kind of format. I am in college, right now, and I hope that somebody's not going to say that word like there's an A in the word. Some people pronounce their O's like, the saying an A sound, like an ah sound, like really like a Y sound. And that's a little annoying. And I'm not a big fan of those kind of thick accents, and that's not my accent. All right, but nonetheless, I'm not, against anyone and their accent or anything. But what will be occurring is I will sort of go out of order. So, we're starting this a little bit into the Sun and Aquarius transit. The Sun's already been in Aquarius, we've got a new moon in that sign. What may also go on during these meetings is, so they might start out with, okay, well, here's the astrology of the day. This is what is going on. This is what the event is, either through a video, or I might talk about it, or, I might share something else. So that might be what will occur for the beginning of the meetings themselves. And then what will happen is I will get into the information, starting, of course, with and by the way, I have copies right over there. You can help yourself. I have cloned them because physical cloners, where you can take one object and copy it however many times that you want. It's like a printer that works for more than paper. So that's great. So you can help yourself grab your own copy. Now, I do want to point out something here when you can do this later. But so a couple of basic things. Okay, so by the way, when you are reading from this book, you may read some information and then you come here and then I discuss, and we get a whole discussion. I will not be standing up here and I will not be reading through this like this for without looking at the words because I didn't want to spoil the events. But you get it. I'm not going to be standing up here and I'm not going to be reading it aloud and discussing it. I've already said that. So I will do the reading on my own, of course, and you'll do that reading, hopefully. And you'll come back and we'll meet and we'll talk about it. And then I'll get into other, project or information. I might even show a video or read an article, something dealing with Aquarius or something, related to the issues of Aquarius or, like a humanitarian or, news article. Aquarius is the humanitarian sign. It does deal with the larger global events going on, in the world. I'm very concerned about that, particularly the moon in Aquarius, because the moon is what you need to feel emotionally secure with. And the moon in Aquarius is really concerned about those larger global, events like climate change and those kind of conversations. And the, biased one-sided media that is. All right, now, anyway, the first kind of thing is that we have this letter, this word, first of all. And it's so random that when, my imagination was not opened up 3 years ago, enough for me to say this. When I see the word for, it's probably after 7:30. Oh, it's not there yet. Wow, I'm really buzzing through this information. Now, if you perceive me as being really formal, trying to get everything right on everything, well, guess what? I am going to be completely free, but I'm just trying to get through the information that I want to. Okay. Now I have the door open because if I don't have the door open, that is going to disconnect. And I don't want that. And this phone, that phone, if I use that other phone, as much as I want to, it's really hard to do so. I flipped a coin. I may pull it out and use it if I feel like it. So that is an option. I'm allowing myself that option. And I am not going to delete. I'm not going to delete a single video in my life again. I need that. I will not do that. Because let me tell you, I have a lot of regrets over the videos that I have made and then deleted, over the live streams that I've made, and then they're all gone. Just one thing after another, compulsively, to try to complete it or achieve it. And that hasn't served me. I feel regret, tremendous guilt from doing that, and I feel kind of just impure. And that's something that I'm working with right now. So these live streams, these videos that I'm going to be recording, hopefully will make up for many videos which have gotten rid of, and they were valuable videos. And there's many left that were safe and salvaged, that are that I'm uploading, like archived videos from when I was younger, onto my YouTube channel right now. Now, my YouTube channel is where I save any video that I make. It goes on my YouTube channels because I have multiple accounts, so it doesn't go in either thumb drive or some other thing. It goes on YouTube. And so, yeah. So, hopefully these will make up for those videos. Try to do that. Try to go back to how it was when I was engaging and I was really excited and really serious and involved with the event and trying to bring back what was before. And last Mercury retrograde we had in Capricorn really reminded me about that. It inspired me to do this kind of things and do this. So I really feel strongly about doing this again and recreating and then not deleting those videos because I've learned that lesson and I've learned it really well. I'm not going to do that again. All right. So Aquarius, what's interesting about this particular word is that when I first saw this word, I saw hangers with like, because I was at an elementary school, and as I said before, my imagination's really opened up. So what I saw before was I looked at the word Aquarius, and what I pictured was when I was at, because I was at an elementary school, many years ago, Wilder Elementary is just up the hill, and walking into the lunchroom, I was there for the second semester of my fourth grade school year, and then all of fifth grade before moving into middle school in 2015. That was the year I had my Jupiter return in September, I think it was, because Jupiter moved into Virgo that year. All right, and so I had a Jupiter opposition. I had my Jupiter in Virgo and my natal chart, and Jupiter was Pisces this time last year, so I had Jupiter opposition when the Jupiter transit, like Jupiter's transit in a given sign opposes what Jupiter is in your natal chart. So I had my Jupiter in Virgo, Jupiter was in Pisces, so I probably had a Jupiter opposition when Jupiter was traveling through Pisces, and Jupiter's of expansion, optimism, abundance. It's really the fun factor in how you want to throw a party in your life. All right, so we have that, and so what I see with this word, as I was saying, as I was walking into the cafeteria, and I was seeing these hangers along the wall, one row, from one end of the wall to the other, and then on top of that there was another row, and then above that there was another row. That's what I see with Aquarius. Just in terms of the word. And so the sun moves into Aquarius on January 20th, and it stays up until February 18th. So that's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30 days approximately, 30 days exactly. So from February 18th, then the sun moves into Pisces. I always think that we should start off an astrological season with the new moon, and then we get the full moon. New moons are times of new beginnings and the inner process of reflection and setting intentions, for what you want and starting something new, and it's reflective. Full moons are, climax is called times of culmination, excitement, releasing. The energy is really big. People are really emotional around this time. So yeah. So we had a new moon in Aquarius, remember, January 21st. They're going to have a full moon in Leo on February 5th, with the sun opposing the moon, because the sun's in Aquarius, moon's in Leo, and they're exactly opposite one another. 180 degrees opposite one another, 6 signs apart from one another. And when you talk about the nodes of the moon, hopefully you've heard of the nodes of the moon. If you're in the Momentum, then the nodal concert that we did last year, and you're aware of the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon travel in signs exactly opposite one another. So the north node may be in Taurus, and the south node directly opposite in Scorpio. They always travel at the same time, opposite each other. And that's where the north node and south node are now, and the nodes also move retrograde because they're reflective times of soul growth. So, so the south node is where we're moving away from, we're releasing old patterns that don't serve us. What we're bringing into this life, our early childhood. The north node is our destiny, where we're moving towards, or we're evolving towards, where we need to go in order to achieve more happiness, growth, and fulfillment in this lifetime. And we balance out the nodes, so the north node is not superior against the south node. They're balanced. So yeah, we balance the two signs, opposite each other. And when we get to the full moon in Leo, we'll obviously talk about the themes of Aquarius and Leo. Aquarius and Leo. And we're going to get into that. And today is just introduction day. I'm thinking upon having meetings about every time the moon every maybe 3 to 2 days. So every time the moon changes sign, that's when we're going to have a meeting. So the day when it changes sign, that's when we're going to come together and meet. Okay. So our next meeting is not going to be until January 28th, because the moon's going to move into the sign of exaltation, Taurus. So that's when the next meeting is going to be, and it will be sometime during the day. So probably 10 a.m. in the morning, or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So either one of those times, and actually, so 10 in the morning. 10 in the morning, and you mark your calendars, the next meeting is going to be, hopefully I remember this, 10 a.m. in the morning on January 28th. That's our next meeting. Okay, and by that time, I do want you to read and have a look through the introductory information of Aquarius and what it's basically about, as the sign and its ruling planet and its element and its mode. Cardinal, fixed, or mutable. Well, it's a fixed sign, meaning it's stubborn and determined and has a lot of strong willpower. And fixed signs are always in the middle of the season. They always come in the middle. So Capricorn's a cardinal sign. It initiates the winter time. And then after the sun's in Capricorn, the sun moves into Aquarius, and that's a fixed sign. It's the middle of winter. And then we have Pisces, which is a mutable sign. The sun moves into Pisces. It ends the winter, and it's a transition to the spring. Mutable signs are really changeable and adaptable, and that's what the mode mutable means. And cardinal signs are leaders and initiators. You're starting a brand new season. You're bringing forth new energy into that new season, especially because you have all four cardinal signs. You have four elements in the zodiac. You have three signs in each element, and you have four signs in each mode, one from each element. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. The signs initiate the new season: spring, summer, fall, winter, the spring equinox, the summer solstice, the fall or autumn equinox, and then the winter solstice. Fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and then mutable signs: Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And those are all the 12 zodiac signs. And so, I do kind of want you to have a basic kind of understanding of the astrology, to know the order of the zodiac, and to know the characteristics and traits of the signs and aspects, and you're learning and growing and expanding your knowledge and wisdom into astrology as members of the convention, because it officially started back in 2020. And so, mention later, start educating you, doing activities based off of, the astrology. You're, learning, and you're experiencing with it, and you're engaging with it, you're meeting people who are experts in it. So many things, and going to concerts, listening to songs about astrology and astrological placements and energies. So that's great too. So there's so many forms you can learn it in, and I assume that that's what all of you are doing in your own way, your own time, with astrology. Is getting familiar with it and maybe being energy with it, or continuing to learn about it, because it's ongoing. It really is ongoing. Astrology, is a never-ending story because of the planets and transits and forecasting full moons, eclipses, all those things. They keep on happening. Never ends until the world ends. That is, obviously that would mean something. All right. So now, what is going to happen is so, if you're still here, just doing, trying to do multiple things at one time. All right. Okay. Ready? Okay, I'm trying to just find my things here. So 1 and 5. Now that was a little side note, I guess you could say. More will be done about that in my own life and my own time. I told you I tilted words with one town. A little bit, but yeah, I'm doing this, so I don't know. And I have to, be honest with myself. No, okay, you made a promise that you are not going to do that, and you're going to keep it. I am perfectly fine. All right. So, we're dealing with this span of time, which is the sun in Aquarius. The basic gist, and actually I should bring the board over because I think I'm going to use that. And what'll end up happening is I may write stuff down or I may print stuff off because it's a lot neater when I print stuff off and I can, hang it on there. So what I'm going to do now is oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just bring, how is this going to work? Okay, I'm not doing what I should be doing here. Okay, let me move this table over. But every time I start something new, there's something, that I'm worried about or anxious about, some kind of limitation or complication or insecurity. I can never catch a break from negativity, negative emotions, negative beliefs, and all these kind of things. It's been the story of the past since 2019. April 6th, 2019. That's been my story. My progress out in Virgo. Oh yeah. And then it really started getting very serious. I can tell you that the 7 Leo difficulties I'm going to be dealing with right now. So it was much more happier, carefree, more. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm gonna plan upon just moving some stuff out of the way, maybe rearranging some stuff over here. Doesn't have to be this, and this will be the new setup of the room because I do not want to have to keep moving this whiteboard back and forth, back and forth. So that's just what it is going to have to be from now on. Period. End of story. I'm not changing it. This will stay in this place right here. We'll move. Mark my words. Now, this is something else you don't need to worry about. Okay, well, there's no Kleenex. I'm going to have to use my hands to erase. Oh my goodness, I really want to change in my jammies right now. Okay. So, actually, I can. Because this is my house and I can do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. And I'm not going to be dictated and bossed around what to do, when to do it. So, I'm going to get comfortable because this is my house. And I should not feel obligated to just do this because of the people here. So, no. I'm living according to my own values. I'm going to be back. Okay, thank you all for waiting for me. There occasionally is going to be times when I step out of the room. Okay. I need to take care of myself because if you want to see the best version of me, then, that might involve. Okay. Now, I'm just going to write something. I'm going to try to be really minimal about what I'm writing on the board because I wrote on the board all the time the last go around. It was kind of boring. So I'm not going to do that. But I am going to write this down and just write some basic bullet points for what I want to talk about. All right. Now, Aquarius season. When the sun moves into a certain sign, it means we're dealing with a certain energy that we're putting out into the world, and it's a certain season, not like fall, spring, summer, or winter. I was just telling you about the modes of astrology, cardinal, fixed, and mutable, but the seasons. When I hear Deborah Silverman use that word for describing cardinal, fixed, and mutable, then I'll use it. So anyway, Aquarius season. So the sun moves into a certain sign. We're dealing with that particular season. Okay, so the seasons are 30 days when really I don't know how many days they are, but the seasons fall, spring, summer, and winter involve all 3 signs, or the seasons, the astrological seasons involve the one season. On the whole, in an astrological New Year's Day, December 31st, and the astrological year would be March 19th. January 1st for the astrological year would be March 20th, because that's when the sun moves out of Pisces into Aries, which initiates the next go-around of astrological signs. So we begin with Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and then we're back at Aries. So from March 20th to March 20th. March 20th to March 19th, all a way around, and we start at Aries in the springtime when we're initiating, when we're going after what we want, new, fresh, new energy. It's the I am sign, proudly claiming who you are and living an authentic life as Aries. Um, 2 signs back, 2 signs before Aries. The 11th sign is Aquarius. So some basic things with Aquarius. This may sort of give away the reading, but Aquarius is an air sign. What's interesting is that this, guess what, right here, aquarium, aqua, water, it's not a water sign. In fact, it's probably the least emotional sign out of the entire zodiac. Now, when I do these meetings in front of people, I do not feel guilty, like, oh my goodness, I should be saying this on my own YouTube channel, because to put this out publicly would be so weird. And this is, I'm going to probably end up doing this in the first meeting so that I do not feel guilty about not finding a way to make this public, because I don't want to give away all this information. And it's not out there. It's just the mindset, because I have a YouTube channel. I do videos on astrology, both general astrology, like placements in the natal chart, for instance, and what the sign means, or what the sun means, and also forecasting astrology, such as this new moon, or March 7th, is going to be a jam-packed day, exciting day, an eventful day, because Saturn is going to move into Pisces. There is going to be something really unusual. There is a straggler coming up in April. Be prepared. And the straggler is, interestingly, there is going to be an eclipse in April. I'm so against it. I really am, because the nodes of the moon are in Scorpio until July, and the nodes are where the eclipses occur, but there's going to be an eclipse occurring in Aries. The nodes are not going to be in Aries and Libra yet. It's going to be a solar eclipse. I don't understand that, and I don't want to believe it, and I don't agree with it. May 19th, a solar eclipse was. September 29th, a lunar eclipse in Aries. That sounds more like it. Oh, wait a second. Back up here. Is that the reality? No, it isn't. All right. So, anyway, oh my goodness gracious. I hope that did not, like, the internet didn't disconnect. I hope so. Oh my goodness. Okay. Aquarius is, I'm not just some random person. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I just want you to know that. So, I'm going to bring more nuance, more information, more, pearls of wisdom to what I'm going to be talking about, because it's been a couple of years and I've learned more and more information. So I'm going to definitely bring more creative, imaginative, ideas and examples to what I'm going to be saying here, with what I'm going to be talking about with all of these Clubisses and all of these signs and all of these astrological seasons. So, as I would say, Aquarius is an air sign. Air. A is the first letter of air, and Aquarius begins with an A. An A begins the word of Aries, and A is the first letter of the alphabet. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. We'll talk about that later this spring, when March 20th through April 19th comes around. What will be the comes for that? But anyway, I happen to have Neptune in Aquarius and nothing else. Aquarius, as far as I can think of off the top of my head right now. So, Neptune is your spirituality, how you show empathy and compassion, where you can get confused and off track. Confusion, delusion, those kinds of things with Neptune. And so it's in Aquarius, so it deals with technology, information, communities, and naming spirituality, spiritually minded towards everyone, but through the intellect. Because Aquarius is highly related to the intellect. And not so much about the emotion as it, in terms of the intellect. So, interesting placement for Neptune to be in. But so I've already said Aquarius is the intellect. It is the higher mind. Because Mercury, the planet of communication and thinking and how you learn, is exalted in Aquarius, which means it can do so much in that placement. Super happy to, super comfortable. Such a strong placement for Mercury to be in. And Aquarius deals with the mind. And it also is the sign of the scientist, of the observer, of the person who is analyzing what is going on. And it's all about trying to come up with solutions for the greater good of humanity as a whole. That's what it's also about. Because Aquarius is humanitarian. It's about humanity. What can I do for humanity? And opposite Leo, which is the sun, it's all about you and empowering yourself and shining in your own way and, showing who you are and, unapologetically living a life that's right for you, which is Leo energy of the heart and generosity. But Aquarius is about the mind, and it is about it deals with the humanity. It also deals with technology. So we're talking about technology, not just computers and phones, but we're also talking about technology such as, this, or the desk, or the table, or take that, light switch over there. So what are we moving towards? How do we want to innovate, change? How do we want to get out of the box and be the individual and put something new for humanity as a whole, for the group, which is brand new and wacky and, lofty ideas, and deals with innovation. And Aquarius is about your tribe, your community, and collaboration and social networking. So those are some general traits of Aquarius. There's some dark sides, and the dark sides are aloofness, detachment, alienation, being cold, the mind being, like ice and cold logic and hyper-rationalism. And so those are some downsides, and being really fixed, because it is a fixed sign about your beliefs and your ideals and your principles, and not being open to others. And now my phone is at, oh my goodness. What have I done? A bunch of wasted time. Yeah, I did, just a little. What? officially out of battery. Give me the message. So our time is cut. I am not redoing this. I am not going to be a perfectionist with this. This isn't a perfection. This is a hiccup. This is what it is about. So it deals with your group. It deals with, your ideas. As on one hand, it can be either rebel and vex and wanting to rebel against people and being an individual, and marching to the beat of your own drum. On another level, it can be openness to new ideas and new perspectives, new ways of viewing the world. And the mantra for this sign is, I do it my way, and I encourage you to do it your way. So, or I allow you to do the same. It rules over the 11th house, which is the area of your life related. We'll work out. Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit, away from the door, which is where there's better internet. I don't think. Hey. Oh, yeah. I don't think this is gonna work out. I mean, I don't know if this live stream is gonna work out. I mean, I don't know if all that work that I did is out to be finished. So I think I may have wasted a bunch of time. I think I may have done all of this work. So I put the book away. This is just a hiccup in the process. But you know what? I don't need the book because I wasn't going to plan on using it anyways. So we don't need to worry about it. Stuff happens. And it is about being flexible in life. And sometimes I have plans, and sometimes I think that it's going to be fine, and there's going to be enough time. You're halfway through talking about something, and then the phone powers off, and then you're live, and then the live stream gets messed up, and that's just what happens. That's just what happens. I'm sorry, Kelly, but you don't need to be pure for your vibration to clear. Because the truth is, nobody's perfect and nobody's pure. End of story. The end of story. I'm unpure. I'm sitting here speaking about this as if this is the millionth time and this is the first time. And I've spoken more dramatically and I've said better crafted things, all of which I have deleted. We'll never see those files again. This is probably not going to come out and talk. This is probably going to be clunky. This is probably going to get all messed up. And there's going to be something happening with this. But I'm not going to delete it. Because that's a lesson that I've learned in the past that I'm not going to repeat, as I've already stated twice. And this is proving my point because I am not going to be a perfectionist any longer. And no, perfectionism is a bad thing, period. End of discussion. Because Because when you become a perfectionist, you become particular and you become unhappy. Things go wrong and you're not good enough and you don't feel good enough, you don't feel pure enough, and well, you can only do so much to achieve purity, but sometimes life is like, and you don't have to be like, I found that a general statement. I'm sorry, as much as I believe that, as much as that this sounds too simple to be true, or easier said than done. Nobody in this room is pure. Every single person in here has done something compulsive or impulsive, and if you don't care to admit it, then I'm at a point where I do want to test you, and I do want to see what you've done, and see if you were actually on what it shouldn't be. Say I'm not perfect, I didn't see when that was off, when it should have been off, and that was sitting there on. Anyway. Everyone in this room has done something compulsive that they regret. Has done something which involves doing something and taking so much of your energy. What time is it? Because it's probably very late right now. It is 8:03. I have about almost an hour left before getting ready for bed in the morning, which involves having to be an adult and having to wake up and having to get up early in the morning, get through and do all of that stuff. So I'm going to make this short so that you can get home and enjoy your evening. Whether you want to admit it or not, everyone has done something that they regret. An action that they regret. Oh, I have several. I have a whole list of actions that I regret. Thank you all for being patient with me while I was trying to deal with the issue that came up. I'm sorry that this whole thing was almost ruined. My goodness, if I was little, I would be livid. But you know what? I have learned to, oh, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this because I am pulling a card that is out of alignment with my belief system, which state, oh my gosh, I don't want to get into that detail. But I have become better, shall we say, with things going on. It makes life interesting, doesn't it? Sometimes it's nice when things don't go predictable. Sometimes things go off plan and things don't work out. I find that really interesting. And that's what Aquarius is about. I'm talking about Aquarius, and so some force up there was saying, well, if you're going to stand here and talk about Aquarius, I am going to give you something, Aquarius. I'm going to give you something wild and crazy and unpredictable that's going to happen, involving technology, involving something unexpected, which means your phone is going to power off during a meeting. That's what's going to happen. Take a hint. If you don't, well, you'll find out. And that will happen. It happened. I'm not here to apologize for that. Let's just check that off the list right Yeah, I'm not here to be perfectionist, and I'm not here to do all this again. I'm not here to explain all this information again. I've already done it, and if it's gone, guess what? It's just gone. Impurity, check off. I mean, you can keep checking things off the list. You can make a whole list of this impurity, this thing went wrong, this thing, that thing, that thing. And if you do, I'm pretty sure you can dig through your whole life. And if all those things that you did that were pretty impure that you have done, I can assure you this is the most profound talk that I have ever given. That is a fact because so many of them got deleted. So this is the most important one. If you go through and look at so many things in your life that are impure, you can crack the wall and you will find so many cracks. And if this conversation, if what I'm saying is not available and it gets deleted, well, you know what? You can forget about what I'm saying. It doesn't matter at all because when it gets deleted, it doesn't matter at all. When that is just a fact. Stop placing value on the things that you have deleted in the past or the things you regret in the past. As we know, the past is in the past. You can't change it, period, end of story. So you can take all your regrets and you can crack holes in a wall and you will have a really cracked wall. But are you going to keep checking things off? Impurity. Or are you going to be okay? Things going off, plans getting ruined, things happen unexpectedly that you didn't like. You had a plan and it didn't work out. You got frustrated, it's only natural. And there's an impurity, and you've gotten rid of something, and you compulsively went through something, and you binge watched something, and you didn't finish something. You hurt your computer, you threw a phone, you insulted this person, you hurt this relationship, you were not emotionally available with this person, you let this destroy your peace of mind. All these regrets, It's so amazing what happens when you speak to something that becomes conscious and is not, it loses its power when you speak to something. So hopefully I'm making it lose power right now. You can crack those holes. Life is not pure, and nobody lives a pure and perfect life. Nobody is pure. Nothing is pure. I am not pure. I am far from pure. Nobody that you watch on YouTube is pure. And every single person that you watch on YouTube or engage in social media with has done something compulsive or impulsive and something that they're living with the regret of, involving knowledge and binge watching. I can assure you that that is the case. If it's not, I will take those pure people and I will impurify them. I'm serious. I will impurify you if you are pure. Well, I'm using reverse psychology right now. See how silly this conversation is? We can just forget this whole conversation. Because clearly, trying to be pure is not attainable. Isn't it easier? Doesn't it make more sense to raise your vibration by accepting what is Raise your vibration by being kind to yourself. Raise your vibration by loving yourself. Raise your vibration by forgiving yourself, choosing to live in the now, living with, what is, doing the next best thing, um, being in the moment, so you can raise your vibration. You can be in the mighty I am consciousness without having to be pure. I mean, as much as I want to agree with that and believe that, guess what? Life happens. And we're not perfect. And we're not pure. And as much as I agree with that, guess what? That isn't life. And that is not considered living. That is not human experience, because we all become impure as we get older and we age. We become impurer as we go through life. And that's a fact. If everyone was pure, we would know nothing. We wouldn't be exposed to anything. We would be just floating around in the void kind of thing, observing things and just, ignorant, not exposed to anyone or anything. If we were all pure. So you can make yourself more pure. But then again, I have not heard too much about purity when it comes to becoming more spiritually evolved. And there's a reason, because instead of trying to be perfectionist and trying to improve and trying to be that, why don't you just look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am enough. And Adam Olympus, that is fine, and you are enough said. Look in the mirror, say to yourself, I'm enough, love yourself exactly as you are. No need for negotiation, Adam. No need for that. There is self-improvement. You can become better. Of course you can. Work and we live and we learn, okay? We live and we learn. I have done this. I've learned from it. I'm not going to do it again. I became better. I've evolved. Yes. Yeah. Mistakes and stuff that we get wrong is how we learn. It's how we live. It's how we experience our life. It's how we become better as people. If you are a good person, you have regrets. Period. End of discussion. Nobody lives a life where they do not have regrets. If you do, well, you should be kicked off the face of this earth. Make messes, make mistakes, do things wrong. Don't be a perfectionist, beat yourself up, and all those things I've spoke about before. This is an imperfect and impure live stream. An impure meeting. But guess what? That's the beauty of it. Who says it needs to be pure and perfect and all work out the way that you plan it? Oh my goodness, if I was puring myself, if I was lying, I don't agree with anything that you're saying. I didn't get what you're saying at all. It's stupid. It should be perfect. It should be like this. Well, guess what? Makes life interesting. Be really bored of everything happen that we're not exactly planned out. So who says it has to be planned? What if we can liberate ourselves, Aquarius? do things out of the box. It's unusual. It's unexpected. And it goes off the walls, and it's just in the spur of the moment and the spur of inspiration. Doesn't have to be planned, structured, scheduled, all those kind of things. This is, I speak my truth, my authentic truth in this moment right now. And you can all do the same. Aquarius is about truth and the mercenaries today, which makes perfect sense to everything that I am saying right now. Aquarius is about truth, and Uranus rules Aquarius. It's about revolution, things going off, sudden changes, revelations, the unexpected, abrupt changes, those kind of things. Because the rules Aquarius, it's discovered during the French Revolution. When people were, rebelling against people, and everything was not going to plan. Everyone was not set in their ways and doing what they were supposed to do. They were not doing that. There was chaos, and there was, havoc. The 11th house rules what you aspire to do, your dreams. When you go along your path of life, sometimes you'll be surprised because you end up going on a different path than you expect, because that's your soul moving on that path. Your ego sitting in the backseat, steering your soul. Your ego does not run the ship. Your ego may have an idea. I want this way. I want it this way. I want this to be this way. I want this, everything to be this way. Oh, but your soul has other plans, and that is your truth. That is the captain of your ship, period. Nothing that I say here is not true. Period. So that is the Aquarius spiel that I want to give. And on the 28th of January at 10 a.m. in the morning, this coming Saturday, we're going to be meeting and we're going to be discussing the content of the zodiac sign Aquarius and what it is all about. So, what's the other thing that I'm doing? I'm making a promise that I'm going to do this. I'm saying something like this. Commit to this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. So, it is late now, and I have to do other things, but I'm not sitting here doing this. So guess what? I don't want to waste any more time. I don't want to waste anyone's time. You are all dismissed. You can wave. Goodbye. Good night. I will see you on Saturday for those who want to attend. And I have no sympathy for you if you want to judge, or if you want to, be mean. What happened here today? I didn't want to repeat the same thing over again. Good night, everybody. Like, officially.